Good morning, everyone. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Haven't slept a wink. I can't sleep. I know it's the shift. How about you? Are you having a hard time sleeping? So I'm out here on the deck. I wanted to come outside for a minute and I ran face to face with a skunk. And the interesting thing is, my one cat that goes outside, I saw him, and then I saw the skunk under the car. And I told Ollie, stop, Ollie. And I went up to the porch. I said, come this way, baby. And the skunk looked right at me and then ran away. Thank God. My heart was pounding. I thought for sure we were both going to get sprayed. But didn't happen. Do you ever come out early morning? It's my favorite time of the day, just before the sun comes up. It makes me just look at everything waking up and have a little bit of hope. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel like there is no hope? That's one thing that, as a Christian, I have is hope. And I think that's what was stolen from me when the so-called Christians really hurt me recently, is I felt like I don't fit in anywhere, you know? Um, I'm not going to let them steal that from me, because it's not about man. It's not about pleasing man. It's about pleasing God. And I have to do what I'm called to do. And what I'm called to do is help people. And if some people don't like that, I'm sorry. But it's what I have to do. It's not just what I do, it's who I am. Oh, there's a kitty in the window. There's my Simma. She is dying to go outside. Her up against the skunk, she definitely gets sprayed. Wow, wow, wow. All right, I'm going to be right back. I want to talk about walking through the dark night of the soul. I'll be right back. I came inside because it's kind of chilly out there. I don't know if you can hear it, but the birds are singing. Can you hear that? I came closer to the window. Well, the birds are singing anyway. It's like everything kind of works together the way it's supposed to. The birds, they're waking up. They seem to wake everything up. The sun's about to rise. I don't know exactly what time it rises, but it hasn't risen yet. It's like, that's why I like this time of day. It just seems so natural, no matter where you are. If you're in the big city, it's like still everything's kind of waking up. It's just my favorite part of the day. So, have you ever experienced the dark night of the soul? I remember when I was younger, people used to say, you only experience it once. I'm not so sure if that's true, because I can remember several times where it's very dark, very, very dark, and you don't know what's going on. It feels such a heaviness. It's a darkness. I remember when I experienced it before, I said, no matter what happens on this earth, I never want to experience it again. But I think I did, and I think I am. I'm going to give you a couple things that are going on. You let me know if you've ever experienced it, and I'll tell you kind of what to do to get through it as unscathed as possible. So, the dark night of the soul. Have you heard of it? Have you experienced it? You know, a lot of people say, well, maybe it's depression. The dark night of the soul is a little bit different than depression. I mean, I can see how some people would mistake it for depression, but I think anyone who jumps on the spiritual path is going to experience it to one degree or another. But I think the people that maybe are called to do something higher than everyday life, that's one thing. A lot of people walk around, they say they're awake, but they live their life basically sleeping. They go to work, they come home, they have dinner, they watch TV, maybe go out with the family, whatever. It's routine. Walking around just to sleep. There's others that are asleep that They do other things. They have a busy, busy life, but spiritually speaking, dead asleep. Don't even grasp anything spiritual, you know? Those people probably won't have the dark night of the soul. Some people do suffer from depression, not saying that doesn't exist, but pretty much what the dark night of the soul is deeper than depression. Some of the symptoms are you could be going along fine, and then all of a sudden you feel like a heaviness, darkness. Sometimes it's sparked by a life event, a death of a loved one, death of a child, a divorce, loss of somebody that you love dearly, maybe an illness, a major life event, an accident. Sometimes it is not. But these are some of the symptoms, like a heaviness, a darkness. I remember the first time I went through it, I thought, oh Lord, how do people survive this? I wasn't sure what it was, and it was so dark. And then you start questioning your purpose. Why am I even here? If you thought you had a purpose or a passion, you start questioning that. You start questioning, am I right? Or have I been wrong all this time, spiritually speaking? A sense of not belonging. It's as if you could draw a picture of what you're feeling. It's as if you're walking through complete and utter darkness, and you know that the world around you is going on. You can't quite put your finger on it. Sometimes it's feeling, it's not lack of feeling. It's not like you feel nothing, but it's beyond depression. I remember trying to describe it to someone once, and it was beyond suicidal thoughts. It was beyond depression. It was dark, and I thought I might never come out of it. So far in my life, I remember I think I'm going through a bit of one now. But the good news with the dark night of the soul is if as you go through it, and it's dark, let me tell you, when you're going through it, you know it, because like I said, you feel like you may never come out. You feel like you may never break free of this darkness. And it's overwhelming. It's more than depression. It's, like I said, it goes beyond suicide. I don't know how else to describe it. But the dark night of the soul brings you closer, brings you deeper. It brings you into almost like another degree, another level, spiritually speaking. So there is good news to it. But what do you do when you're going through it? Well, what I found is don't buy into the negative thoughts. Don't, because you're just gonna prolong it. Don't ask why. You can ask what's next. Don't ask why, because there's God's under no obligation to answer why, right? And we may never know till we get to the other side. But you can ask what's next. You can ask Him to carry you through it. One big thing I know that got me through, and I'm talking about the worst of the worst time, where I felt like I was never coming out of this. I really did. And I remember looking back on it, in the years following, being petrified that I would have to go through that again. But one thing I know that really helps is, like I said, don't buy into the negative. Get on your knees and pray every day. And it's going to feel also like you're very isolated. Even people that you thought loved you may hurt you, because of course you're going to be attacked, this and that, all along the way during this. Send out forgiveness and love, especially to those that you don't want to. Especially to those. Sorry about that, guys. I got interrupted. A bunch of people just walked in all at the same time. So basically, if you're going through this, if you feel like it's beyond depression, you've been going along your spiritual path, and you really feel you really feel connected spiritually, or you really feel like you were connected spiritually, or that you're trying, you're either waking up or trying to wake up, or you've just, a lot of times people say, well, I just came to know Christ and then this happened. Even C.S. Lewis lost his wife shortly after he became a Christian. So, if you're experiencing this, the best thing that I can tell you is stay focused. Keep your focus on the truth, because we can't go by our feelings. Our feelings are deceptive. So stay focused on the truth, no matter how it feels. Do ask the Holy Spirit to come and comfort you. But even through the darkness, just keep a knowing. Even though it doesn't feel this way, keep a knowing that you will come through this. And believe me, when you're going through it, it does not feel like you will. Um, and the biggest part for me is those people that have caused you harm, especially intentionally caused you harm. Send out, like, don't just decide to forgive them and ask for help, but literally force yourself every day to send them love and best wishes and prayers, and mean it. That's the hard part, is mean it. You can say it, but actually mean it. And it might be hard at first, but one day you're going to come to a point where you actually do mean it. And you become indifferent about the pain that they've caused you, and you can move forward. And that's when you know that you're really coming to a place that forgiveness is an action, it's not a feeling. So the moment that you decide to forgive and you do it, you've done it. But you will come to a place of more indifference in your feelings. So believe me, if you're going through this, I know it's not an easy thing. I know it's not. I know it's one of the most difficult things along your spiritual journey. And the battle will rage while it's going on, and you'll get hit. The enemy likes to sucker punch. So stay connected. If you have anybody in your life that is eternity minded, that is a believer, stick with them. But when you're in the dark night of the soul, you're gonna feel like disconnected from everybody. But just try to remember to force yourself to do these things, and you will get through it, and you'll get through it at a higher, closer walk with God, and you'll feel like you're in your next, I guess, phase of the journey. All right, guys, take care. I hope this helped a little bit, and if you're feeling that way, please reach out. All right, have a good one.